Great. So today we are going to look at some few illustration questions on break-even, like critical questions. Yes, critical. And then we look through some of the exam past questions on how to approach them. Then right after that, we look at the other short-term decision-making techniques. So let's go and pick the first question. That's November 2015. Yeah, and it was a trial question. So I'll probably move faster because we've gone through it. So to help us to move faster. Some of you tried and then forward your answers. I've received them. Just that I will respond to it. So that is question number, not this one, that try this one already. It's question 9, right? Something like that. Yes, question 9. Great. So this is the question for the day. So this is our first question. A states, for any cost volume profit analysis to be valid, a number of important assumptions must reasonably be satisfied within the relevant range. Yes. As a management accountant for your organization, evaluate any 4 assumptions that must be satisfied in the cost volume profit analysis. Good. So the assumptions. So let's go to the board. The assumptions of break even. So that before break even or the CVP will hold, there must be some number of what assumptions. So A. So let's come out with the assumption, but I'll list them here. Good. So assumption number 1 states that the company's production volume is equal to what? Sales volume. So that's the first assumption. So production is equal to sales. So no closing inventory. That's the first assumption. So first assumption states that no what? Closing inventory. So that's the first assumption. The first assumption is production is equal to what? Sales. No closing inventory. That is the first assumption. Now, the second assumption that we are going to look at is the selling price and the variable cost. So selling price and variable cost per unit are what? Selling price and variable cost per unit are constant. They remain the same at all levels of what activity. So if you produce 1,000, selling price is still the same. Produce 2,000, still the same. Quickly. Then the third assumption, the fixed cost is also constant at all levels. So fixed cost constant. Constant what? Fixed cost at all levels. Assumption number 4. The company produces only one product, or in a multiple products, the sales mix is what? Constant. I like that. Sales mix is what? Constant. So in a period where you produce multiple products, 2 or more products, the mix is what? Constant. Good. And they ask for 4. Let's add probably 2 in addition. We also state that the Costs of the organization can be grouped into what? Two. So the costs can be grouped into two. They are variable costs and what? Fixed costs. So the total cost can be divided into two. Total costs can be divided into what? Two. That's the fixed cost and what? Variable cost. Good. Fixed cost and variable cost. And VI. In fact, that's the sixth assumption. It also assumes that there was what? Linear relationship. Yes, there was linear relationship between the output, that's the volume, and costs and revenue or sales. Good. That is the sixth assumption. Okay. So these are the assumptions. Stating any of them, explaining it for us will be very good. So that is the assumptions. Now, when they ask you, state the challenges that we have with the break-even analysis or the CVP, just tell the examiner that in reality, none of the assumption is true. All this from one up to the last end. Why? Because production sometimes not equal to what sales because there's closing inventory. Good. Selling price variable cost per unit will not be constant. In a period of inflation, selling prices are not constant, variable costs are not constant, material prices are not constant. Fixed costs will also be constant. Only one product. In fact, in reality, most organizations have more than what? Two products. So the one product assumption will not hold. Sales mix will be constant. In fact, the demand, you will not force customer what to buy. The customer will acquire what he wants. So if you are saying that before you sell any marker, then 3 of maybe duster must move. Already the customer have enough duster, so you just need marker. So it means that the sales mix will not be constant. So to be changing. So that one is not true. And also saying that total cost can only be divided into two. Fixed cost and variable cost. Relative to is not true. Some of the costs, they are not fixed. They are not variable too. They can be semi-variable or step-up cost in reality. Linear relationship. Meaning the highest power over here is what? Is 1. In reality, for some of the costs are what? Quadratic and cubic. They exhibit cubic functions. So that is it. So the same assumption can also be served as what? Challenge or limitation of what? Break-even analysis. Then you are fine. Good. So I'm done with the first one. This reminds us that this work is still pending. Can you try them and you smile? This very one is still pending. Question 1. Explain the concept of CVP analysis. Discuss the main objective of the CVP analysis. And then they discuss the importance or the use of what? The uses and the limitation of the CVP analysis. Great. So kindly take note of that question. Okay. And let's go. So now we are done with what? The first section. Now let's go to B. The B. But the full section is November 2015 past question. Question number 5. Question 5. So let's see. B, it says that Anta Limited manufactures and sell motorcane to customers divided into high quality, medium quality, low quality motorcanes, and the categories below. So sales price, high quality is there. Involved cost is also there. Commission on sales, they are all there. So medium quality, low quality, these are the what? The information given to us. So from selling price to material cost. But here, involved cost. What to be involved cost? That is what? Involved or cost involved. So we will term this as what? As the manufacturing cost or production cost. We term it as the production cost. Then the commission on sales will form part of the variable overheads. That's the variable cost. So therefore, the total variable cost will be this involved cost plus the commission on sales. So finally, it will be 1,002 plus the 80, and that'll give us 1,280 for that of high quality. So that's the variable cost. Now let's continue the game. It's saying that it is on record that sales quantities of low quality motorcane is twice compared to medium and high quality motorcanes. So what are they telling us? Indirectly, they are telling us what? The sales mix. But we said that if you produce more than one product or two or more, then we have to determine the mix. Very important. The sales mix. So that was the sales mix. You will try it for me. Annual fixed cost of 310,000 is expected to be incurred. You are required to first compute the sales mix. That was your work in advance. So try. By the time I finish reading the requirements, your answers are ready. Good. So compute the sales mix, 1 mark. Compute the unit contribution margin for each of the brand of motorcane. That's the contribution per unit. Compute the weighted average unit contribution. Good. Then compute the break-even sales in volume. And then in what? Sales. So that is the units and then in value. How many motorcanes should be sold to earn a target profit of what? 15,000. Please, this target profit, examiners like it. Yes, so we'll take notes of that. We will look at one and then you'll be fine. Good. Okay. So now try the sales mix. So let me go up so that you have all the information you need to compute the sales mix. Good. So compute the sales mix for me. Try and pause the recording to calculate before moving on. Great. Now let's try it together. So it says it is on record that sales quantities of low quality motorcane is twice compared to medium and low. So let's go to the board and then write the mix down for a mark. Just that mix qualify as for a mark. Good. B I the sales mix will be, now we have to write it in order. They are saying the sales of the low motor cane is twice. So the low 2 times as compared to medium, so 1, and high quality motor cane also 1. So therefore, it will be, so if I write it like this, low, medium, and high to be 2, 1, 1. So 2 is to 1 is to what? 1. That is it. Just that, be a bit careful. Please be a bit careful, because if you look at the question, look at how we have arranged the question: high, medium, low. So even if you write 2 is to 1 is to 1, and if you don't tell us that it's in the form of low is to medium is to high, you will not get it. Good. Or don't state it like high is to medium is to low is equal to 2 is to 1 is to 1. Have you seen? Even though you get a calculation right, but the arrangement. So we should take note of that. It's part of the game. I can assure you that your question will not be straightforward. So let us be ready for challenging questions. So check the technicality of the question. Good. So therefore, the sales mix will be H is to medium is to low. So that will be 1 is to 1 is to 2. Have you now written it? Yes. Or low is to medium is to high is equal to 2 is to 1 is to 1. Any of this, perfect. Don't go and state 2 is to 1 is to 1 like this, even though you are correct. Because the ratio tell us on the arrangement. So causes okay, medium is to low is to high. That is it. So if you write it this way, I'll just write this attached to it. That means you are saying medium is 2, low is 1, high is 1. So take note of that. So that's the first aspect, the animal. Now let's move on to the second aspect of it, and then define. So a gentle reminder, we are solving the 2015 November, the trial question. Let me put it that way, the trial question. Good. So we are done with the A, and then the B, we are looking at the sales mix. Now the second question states that compute the unit contribution margin for each brand of motor cane. So unit contribution margin, what are they looking for? Margin of safety, or they are looking for CS ratio. In fact, they are looking for contribution per unit. That's the unit contribution margin. So they are looking for contribution per unit. So that's the II. Then let's go to the board for II. So let me take this section off. Let me write it small here. Low is to medium is to high. Would be 2 is to 1 is to 1. Good. So any of them. So II. Wish I can write the body into 2. Think when I did that to help me. So let me do this so that we can utilize the ball. Good. So let's start here. We are doing the III, the second version. The first one, we are done with it. Good. Now, They say we should find contribution margins. Right here, contribution margin. Do not solve any question with that requirement or heading. Wow, not coming there. So contribution margin. Agreed. I'll underline it. There are three motto kings over here. So they are high quality, medium, and low. So I'll start. High quality, medium, and what? Low. Don't forget your currency. Don't forget your currency. For contribution, only two items. What are they? Selling price minus what? The variable cost. You are done. So let's go to the question and pick the selling price. So what's the selling price of the products? They are here. Sales price. So hiking is what? 3,400 in that order. So let's record 342317. So let's record them here. So therefore, sales price. So sales price 3,400. Then we have what? 2,300. Then 1,007. Then tell the examiner that less what? Variable cost. Now let's go and pick the variable cost. Here, if you are lucky, the variable cost will be given to you just once, and then you just have to pick it. If you are not lucky, in fact, you will not be lucky. Yes. So the variable cost, you have to go and calculate yourself. Good. So now let's see. But here we are lucky. They've done it, just that there are only two. So the involved cost, that's the manufacturing cost. Commission on sales, that is the other variable cost. So in all, the total variable cost will be the 1,002 plus the 80. In fact, you can do working somewhere, but if you don't want trouble, then tell the examiner that involved cost, yes, 1,200. Then we go and pick the remaining ones. That of medium is 1,080. That of low quality is 690 Ghana cedis. Then you relax for a while. Probably 1 second. Then you continue the game. So now let's see. So there was commission on sales. So that's 80, 60, 40. So that one too, we have to include it. So commission, no shortcuts in the exams. So 80, 60, 40. Kindly put them in a nice bracket because you are subtracting. You're supposed to go and do working somewhere to get just one figure representing what the variable cost. But I want to do everything here. Time is not on our side. Good. So like this is the unit contribution. The unit contribution. We are done. That is the contribution per unit. So have you seen that it's not all that troublesome? Please, for multiple or multi-product break-even, even if you can determine the sales mix, not the contribution per unit. Good. So I write here contribution per unit. Good. So contribution per unit will be, now let's see. Help me with your calculator and confirm them for me. Good. So we will have 3,400. So 3,400 less 1,002. That will give us 2,200. less what? 80 Ghana cedis. Good. So that'll give us 2,120. So 2,120. We're done. Then 2,300 minus. Okay, if your answers are ready, can let me have them. Good. I like that. So 1,160 and then 970. So we are done with the contribution per unit. So let's continue the game. If you do have any question, kindly let me know before we move on. Great. So the contribution per unit 4 mark, and then the sales mix 2 is what? 1 mark. Please, this favor, your own will be a bit tougher than this. Now the third one says compute the weighted average unit contribution. Weighted average unit what? Contribution. So now let's go and then let's do it at the other side. The weighted average. We can continue from here, but it asks it separately. So don't put all together. How we get it? It asks it separately. So let's go and then do it. So that's I. Third requirement, weighted average contribution per unit. Good. So weighted average contribution per unit. So now let's look at it. So weighted average contribution per unit. Good. Right. Weighted average contribution per unit. Please, no shortcuts in exams. Let me project the full version. No shortcuts in exams. So write the full version here. Weighted average unit contribution. I wrote it weighted average contribution per unit. Good. So how do you get the weighted average contribution per unit? Just have to factor what? The mix. So we could have just continued from here, but the donor said we should do it separately. So let's go and then do it here. So first, high quality, low quality, but medium low. And then low quality. So first, to get a weighted average contribution, we need to get the contribution per unit. Don't forget your currency. And then the contribution per unit is what? 2,120. So 2,120, 1,160, and then 970. Then what is the mix? So the mix that we had. They check carefully so that we don't change the position. Because you can get 2:1:1. Somebody can also get 1:1:2. Or 1:2:1 in that order. The low was 2, so that was the one that's right first. The rest are 1:1 average. Can also make it 4:2:2. I can also make it 1.5.5. All of these are the same mix. Just that if you choose a complicated mix, so to make it a bit straightforward. Yes. This one means that a unit of L is what? Twice of that of this and this. 1.5.5. All of them are what? Also correct. Get the same answer. Good. So that is it. Okay. Now what do you do next? How do you find? So you get a total contribution. So some multiply the unit contribution by that of what? The mix. You get a total contribution. So that is the next game. Now let's see how best we can get this done. So total contribution will be over here. Over here, 2120, 1160. What about the low quality? So low quality will be what? 9. So that will be 970 by 2. And then the answer will be 1940. So 1940. So that is it. Then we have to get overall total. So let's sum all 1, 2, 3 together. And let's put it here. So total. So the overall total will be, the total makes will be 1, 1, 2. So making 4. So I'll put it here 4. So summing all together, what do we get? Summing all together. So plus 2120 plus 1160. So that's 5,220. Kindly confirm for me. So 5,220. Good. Just that. That bit is not coming. So let's see. Good. So now in 5,220. Good. So that is the total contribution. So therefore, weighted average contribution per unit is equal to total contribution divided by the total mix. So total contribution of what? 5220 divided by total mix of what? 4. So what is the answer? Then we are done. Great. What will be the answer? Then that is the end of the first 3 issues. Good. So 13 divided by 4. Good. 1305. So therefore, don't forget the currency. 1305 per unit. So that's the weighted average contribution per unit. And that is the answer. Good. So good news. Okay. Now we are done with the third requirement. So let's go to that of the fourth requirement. So it says compute the break-even sales in volume and what? In sales. So here the main sales value. Yes, so the second one is in sales value or sales revenue. So that's what they're asking for. So to get a break-even sales, what do you do? Now here, who can compute the weighted average CS ratio? Yeah. You can compute it for me for a price. So weighted average contribution to sales ratio. Obviously, they are not the same. These two guys, even though all of them started with weighted average contribution, but their ending is what? Different. This is weighted average contribution per unit, and this weighted average contribution to sales ratio. Good. Great. Yes, total sales. So it's the total contribution. This will be total contribution. But let me do that one here. So that one weighted average contribution to sales ratio will be total contribution over total sales. So now we have the total contribution. But someone have the marking scheme, have the answer there. Good. So the total contribution, we already have it to be 5220. So that is another total contribution is what? 5220. All divided by the total sales. How do you get the total sales? Here we have to be multiplying the selling prices by what? By the mix. So therefore, to get the total contribution, it will be 3,400 times the mix of 1. Relax. Come and pick this one. 2,300 times the mix of 1. Good. Then finally, 1,007 times what? Times 2. So putting all together, what do you get? So the answer will be 3,400 plus 2,300, and then finally plus another 3,004, because 1,007 times 2 will give us 3,400. So it is 9,100. So therefore, total is 9,100. Please, I had a 9,100 by multiplying this one by the one next. Multiply this one by 1, multiplying this one by 2. So their answer, their total is 9,100. Good. So that's how I got the 9,100. Good. Okay, so that is it. Now dividing this 5,5, it's not 552, it's 5,220 by 9,100. Then you multiply it by what? 100. You get something like 57.36 or .4. So therefore, the CS ratio, weighted average contribution to sales ratio, will be 57.36%. Good. We are done. So that is the answer. So great. Great. So now let's continue the game. So break-even sales units and then sales value. So to get a break-even sales unit, we just have to do what? Divide the fixed cost by what? By the weighted average contribution per unit. So let me dust this section. So the II, let me take the II off so that we can do that one there. Oh, doing this one. So IV, they are looking for what? Break even sales unit. Sales unit. And we know that it's equal to what? The fixed cost divided by, the more I write the formula, the more I remember. It's equal to fixed cost divided by weighted average contribution per unit. Good. So I just have to do substitution. What's the fixed cost here? The fixed cost given to us in the question was 310,000. I saw it somewhere. Yes, it's 310,000 cities. So that's the fixed cost. Now, so 310,000 divided by weighted average contribution per, that's 1305. So therefore, what is the break-even unit? So the break-even unit will be will be 310,123 divided by 1305, and that will give us 237.55. So 237.55 motokins or units. Can add units or motokins. That is the answer. We are done. Just left with what? The value. Now let's do the allocation. They said we should find what? The value. So let's do allocation. So therefore, it must be allocated as follows. So allocation using the mix. So high, low, and what? Medium. Good. So high will take 1 out of what? 4. So quarter times the 237.55. Your children 10. So what do you get? If you take quarter of this, so this answer times 0.25. 0.25. So that's 59.38. Okay, let's make it 29. So 58. So the unit will be 59 dot, any answer for me? .39. And 1CH is the same, so it will be 58.39. And twice of this, putting this together must give us what? The medium. But we have to, I have to go by how I've arranged the road, and I've been in trouble. So high, medium, and what? Low. Good. So here to be 59.3. And then the low will be twice of this. So 2 times, so times 2.77, right? Good. So low 2 will take 2 out of 4 times 237.55, getting 118.77. Good. So that is the answer. Now let's do some small exercise to get a sales value. Now to get a value using the long approach, if I can come to this, this is the weighted average CS ratio. So take note for me. I'll come to it. Okay. Now let's bring the selling price here so that we can get the sales value. This is I'll come to it. It was sales price and then the sales revenue or the sales value. That's all. Okay, so the selling price is what? I get this one is 3,400. If I remember, 2,300, and this is 1,007. So now let's do the multiplication. Kindly help me with the calculation. Friends online. Good. So to be 3,400 by 59.39. That'll give us, okay. The last one. Okay. So the last one. But this figure, let me write it somewhere. Okay, I can write it. Let me write it here. 57.36. I'll take it off. Okay, so we have 201. So 201. Oh, 201,917.5. And the first one too, I had 201,926. Good. 136,597. So that is it. Putting all this together, then we will get the total sales value. So this answer times 2 plus 136,597. But I'm getting like 540. Okay, I'm getting 449. Okay, so 40440. Like this.
Yes, it's 0.5.
Oh, so 0.5. Great. So someone to had 540,432. Wow. Adding this. Okay. So 54. That's 201,926 plus 13. Okay, so the last one is 20. Okay. Yes, let's confirm the last one. 118.77 times 1,700. That will give us. Okay. So it's 201,909. So 201,909. Good. So 909. Great. So giving us total of 40449. Great. So like one that had price 449. Good. So that is it. So here too, we can use guess this answer might not be true. The overall answer 01926. So 926 plus 136. The second one too, right? Okay, let's confirm the second one to 2,300. So 2,300 times 59.39. That one is correct. So plus 20. So the total is 432. Okay. Plus 201926 plus 201909. Good. So it's 432. Great. So 32. So that is it. Okay. I will take that. This is due to approximational differences. If we divide this one, if you take 2 of this by this, you won't get this one. It gets 0.78. Don't worry. 0.78 and 0.77. I think they are very close friends. And here, because of the running here, when we add all, must give us this answer. So that is it. Okay. Now this figure, we can use a standard formula to obtain it using what? The CS ratio. That's a weighted average contribution per unit. Good. So the weighted average contribution per unit is 57.36. So that is it. Now we can use that one to generate this value. Good. So how do you do that? Let me clean that section and do it there. Then you'll be fine. Let me take off this section. Okay. So alternative. So this is the break-even sales value. Alternative. Break-even sales value is equal to your fixed cost divided by, here we are named with what? Multiple products. So it will be fixed cost divided by weighted average contribution to sales ratio. Good. Where we have fixed cost of 310,000, CS ratio, we calculated it and we had what? 57.36. So therefore, we get 0.5736. Good. And that will give us Ghana city of what? So here there's must be city here and city here too. Good. So that is it. Great. So kindly confirm the answer for me. What you get is what? But let me show this one is more. Ghana city of 540 get 446. So 446. 46 and then 32 difference due to approximations. Yes, alternative. So what went through, however, we can just use single formula to get it. So that is it. Now the last one will still be your trial. So still on question 9. Let's go to the fifth one. How many motorkins should be sold to earn target profit of what? 15,000. To earn a target profit of what? 15,000. So how here they are just asking for how many motorkins. So just the number of units to be sold to earn target profit of what? 15,000. So that is it. So that's break even at what? Target profit. Break even at target profit. So basically, you will go through the same process here. So that one, where should I turn? I'll take this section off. So taking this section of the allocation of. So I'll do the last aspect there. So I tell the examiner that unit required will be, the more I write the formula, the more I remember. Fixed cost divided by weighted average contribution per unit, which is equal to 310,000 divided by what's the weighted average contribution per unit? 1305. So that will give us so what will be the units? So they have to sell 310,123 divided by 1305. But here we have to add the target profit, yes. So plus the target profit, the unit required. And the target profit was plus 15,000 to give us the same answer as this one. So plus the target profits. So let me do the arrangement. Good. Plus the target profits. So we will get something like 2498. So to be uh three to 5,000. 123 divided by 1305. 249, right? Good. That's 249. Yes. .04 motokins. And it ends at 249.04 motokins. Please, they didn't say each. Oh. They say motokins. They didn't say each. So that's the final answer. If you go further, it's, you can break it down, but that's not part of the requirement. The requirement say how many motokins. They didn't say how many motokins or how many of each unit. Because there are three types of motokins here: high quality, medium quality, and low quality. Good. So if they should have added each to the motokins, then that one you have to break the 249 down. So I'm done with the first illustration. I'll look at the second illustration, the second trial work. That is November 2017. So good. That one, I took a screenshot and sent it on the platform. So that one is on the platform, so you can access it there. Or for those of you who have the revision kit, November 2017. Good. So we go through that question and then you'll be fine. From there, I'll look at another question again and we scan through the past question as usual. When we are done with every subject or topic, we scan through the past question to see how it has been arranged for us. Okay. So if there are no questions, now let's look through November 2017. I'll only do the first one for you, and then the second part you'll do. So I'm solving only the A. B, you have to try, because this question was homework. If I've done all, then we'll do all. Zuma Limited manufactures and sells two complementary products, Hyline and Glycerin, in the ratio of 3:2, respectively, even though it's not there, invisible. The results for the just ended period show the following: products, Hyline, Glycerin. Selling price, they are all there, 2015. Good. So this is a 2015 syllabus. Okay. Contribution to sales ratio, 60 and 40. Wow. Profit or loss. So one is profit, 97,200, and here loss of 3,600. Joint fixed cost, 180,000, are apportioned in the proportion to the number of what units of each product sold. That's all. Now the company is in the process of preparing the budget for the coming year, and it desires of improving the performance of Grassland. Therefore, the following proposal are being considered for implementation. So proposal one, all the proposal to affect the B, the proposal will not affect the A. So take note. Proposal one, increase the price of gasoline by what? By 25% in expectation that the quantity demand will reduce by 10%, or retool the production process, which will result in a reduction of joint fixed cost by 15% and increase the variable cost of each product by 10%, or introduce proposal 1 and 2, all of them. Required, determine the units of each product sold and hence prepare the profit statement for just ended period. So this question is a fantastic question. Here, tell us the unit produced. They prepare a financial statement there for you. So, and now we are asking you to tell us the number of units. So how are you going to solve this? So any idea? Now let's go to the board. Anywhere in exams, they ask you to determine units of something. Two things to come in mind. One, can I get total of that item and get per unit of that item so that I'll divide and get the what? The units. So if I ask you to tell me the unit produced, ask two questions. Unit produced, okay. So if I get a total sales, good, and divide it by selling price, what did it give me the unit produced? That's first question I have to ask. Second, if I get total contribution and divide by contribution per unit, what did it give me the total unit? If I get a total cost and divide it by the cost per unit, what to give me the unit produced in that order. So when they ask you unit produced, these are the questions that should come to mind. Good. From the financial statements. So out of this, now look at the information presented there. They have given us selling price. So, in fact, the first one will not work because we can't get the total sales. The total sales. Good. Then the profit or loss. So the fixed cost. Great. Second one, total contribution. In fact, the first one can work so that we will travel long mile. We will get this, the contribution before getting the sales. Good. So that is it. And this one will not work. So here, these two approach, any of them can work for us. Or we can also use total variable cost all over the variable cost per unit. Can also work. So anytime you're looking for something units, you're looking for all the units, just locate any total and divide it by it, and then you are done. Okay. Good. So look carefully how we are going to solve this very question. So that's all. So now, in marginal costing approach, anywhere you see contribution to sales ratio, they are using what? Marginal costing. In fact, break-even or CBP is under marginal costing. It's an extension of the marginal costing. So in marginal costing, let's prepare some small profit statement here. Small profit statement. So profit statement under the marginal costing will be sales, so much, minus variable cost, so much. That will give us contribution, so much. Then less the fixed cost, so much, to give us what? Profits. If you understand this, no marginal costing, or when the exam is moving you, it'll be stable. So now, if I'm looking for contribution, I can start from any angle. Let's assume that here is 300. Variable cost is just 100. contribution is 200. The fixed cost is, let's just assume that the fixed cost is 80 Ghana. What's the profit? 120. So give me two formulas or two ways to first locate the total cost. In fact, we could have used this one, but it's a long process. So let me use this one. Okay, this one will work, but let me use this one. Total contribution. How do you get a contribution? Where's the contribution? This guy, this 200. So give me two formulas coming from your own that will help you to get these 200 Ghana cedis. So first, the normal way, sales minus variable cost must result the contribution. So that's the first approach. So sales minus what? Variable cost. That's if I'm going by this approach, the top. They can also go by the down. Now you know the profit. We know the fixed cost. When we add the two, it must give us what? The contribution. So alternative formula will be, you can also use this approach. How we get it? So therefore, contribution is nothing by the profit, which is 120, plus what? Fixed cost of 80, which is equal to 200 Ghana cedis. How we get it? When you do this, you are fine. Then left the contribution per unit. Then we look for it in the question. Then you are done. So this is the approach that we are going to use. So you have to calculate what the individual contribution, divide it, then you are done. So first we have to find the total contribution. How do you find total contribution? The straightforward approach will not work, or the direct formula will not work. Sales minus variable cost will not work. So we are going to use the indirect formula. That is the what? Taking your profit and adding back the fixed cost to it to give you the same contribution. Now let's go to the question and see how we can, if they have given us the profits and then the fixed cost and then the contribution per unit too, if you can find it. So let's go to the question. And then all of them are there. So there's profit or loss. So Highland is what? 97,200. The other one shows there 3,600. So that's the profit. So what's the fixed cost? They say joint fixed cost is what? 180,000. And this apportioned by what? In a proportion of the number of units produced. That's the ratio, 3:2. So we can also share what? The fixed cost. So now we know the contribution, total contribution we know. Now what left is what? Contribution per unit. How do you get a contribution per unit? They've given us the CS ratio. They've given us the selling price. So when you multiply the selling price by the CS ratio, to give you what? Contribution per unit. We are done solving the question. For how many marks? 7 marks. Exactly. Good. That is how the questions are. Please, I can assure you that break-even questions will not be like a bit straightforward. We'll look at very last one and you see how that one to look like. So now let's go to board and then present these ideas together. And then we will get the figure. Okay. So good. Which side? So therefore, if I should go over, we need the total contribution and then the contribution per unit. Total contribution, said that we should add the profit to that of the fixed cost. That's all. Second, okay, that's fine. That's fine. Second, contribution per unit, we have to what? Multiply the CS ratio by that of the the selling price. Good. Now let's see. So solution A. Okay, so we are going to look for the unit produced or unit sold. So unit sold. I have Highland and then Riceland. Good. Don't forget your currency. Very important. So we are going by the idea of we are looking for total contribution. So where do we start from? To get the total contribution, two items. Either you start from sales minus variable cost or profit plus what? Fixed cost. That's all how we get it. These ideas, you must practice them before the examination date. If you don't go through most of this, in exam day, you are going to meet new item there. Yes, that one I can assure you that you're going to meet new item. Good. So that is it. So now you're going to use the profit plus the fixed cost. So let's go. Profit. So what is the profit or loss? In fact, it was profit or loss. So let's go and make the profit for each of the products. 97,200 and 3,600. So 97,200 and 3,600. So that's the profit. Add the fixed cost to it. So let's go. Fixed cost. The fixed cost 180. Now it must be shared in what? Ratio of what? 3:2. Thank you. So now let's share. So let's apportion the fixed cost. So therefore, I'll tell the examiner that 180,000 times 3 out of 5 must be for the first product. And that will give us any idea. So 3 out of 5. Good. So 108, right? Good. Then that of the other product, we will get what? Or the other unit. 180. In fact, I shouldn't even worry ourselves. If the total is 180 and then we are sharing, good. 72. Good. So the difference. So that's 1172. We bring it here. So therefore, what's the total contribution? Total what? Contribution. So this is the total contribution that they had for that period. So 972 plus 108 123 205,200. Perfect. But here, don't forget that this guy, it was a loss, so put in brackets. So here, instead of you adding, you net. So 72 loss of 3,600. Good. So 72, 1, 2, 3. 68,400. So 68,400. So that's the contribution. Now what's left? Now, the question that we solve, our first illustration, if my memory will set me right, our first illustration, solve some question. And then the selling price was 25, variable cost was 20. And then, good, contribution was 5, right? 5 CD. If you take it off. So the question is, let's calculate the CS ratio. CS ratio will be 5 out of 25 times 100. So here to give us 20%, right? Good. Now the question is this. If I inform you that the CS ratio is 20% and tell you that the selling price is 25%, what is the contribution per unit? This section is a bit critical. Let me start all over again. for you to get the picture well. This one is not part of the question. We are doing that to understand the question very well. Good. So what we have to do is this. We will tell the examiner that assuming selling price of 25, variable cost of 20, contribution will be what? 5 CD. Agreed. If you are going by the normal way. Good. Then we should calculate the CS ratio. So the CS ratio will be contribution to sales ratio. That will be contribution divided by sales. So that will be 5 divided by 25%. Divided by 25, which is equal to 20%. So therefore, the CS ratio is what? 20%. How we get it? Good. Now the question is this. I'm cleaning this. We don't know the variable cost, neither the contribution per unit. But I've informed you that the CS ratio is equal to 20%. So now calculate the contribution per unit. So in short, contribution per unit is equal to another formula. It's equal to the CS ratio times the selling price. You are done. We give you the contribution per unit. The CS ratio times what? The selling price. When we start this class or this section, we said that the nickname for break-even is called what if. And this must be part of our studies. Anytime you are learning, and then there was just a particular, especially management accounting, we have to ask ourselves several questions. What if it's like this? How would the answer be? What if this one is not given? How do I find it? If you do that in your studies, you go in exams, you go and see one of your questions there, right? Do not change anything. And then you'll be happy. Good. Because normally we know contribution per unit is equal to selling price minus variable cost, right? And today we are saying it's now equal to what? The CS ratio times what? The selling price. Things of this nature are the one they're going to see in the exams. Not the straightforward one. Not the normal one, sales minus variable cost. Not at all. That one, no. They are going to like change things. But the principle is still the same. So therefore, here, their contribution will be CS ratio of 20%. So let's see, 20% times 25. What's the answer? 5 Ghana cedis. Agreed. No, we calculated that's the CS ratio. We calculated it. Or if you have the CS ratio and the selling price and you're looking for contribution per unit, multiply them. They'll give you the answer. How we get it? Good. So that is it. So now let's go to the question and then you calculate the contribution per unit for me. So product, Highland. The selling price is 20. The CS ratio is what? 60%. So what's the contribution per unit? And that of Riceland. So Highland will be what? The CS ratio is what? 60%. I like that. First answer received. That's 12 Ghana cedis. Great. Because in the question, the CS ratio was given to us as what? As 60% for the first product. No, the selling price is 20 Ghana cedis. So therefore, the contribution per unit will be what? 12 Ghana cedis. How we get it? Good. What about the, in fact, you have to write something here. Contribution per unit. So contribution per unit. So open our brackets. First one, it says 60% of what? Of the 20 Ghana cedis. Then we have what? 12 Ghana cedis. What about the next one? The next product. Who will try the next product for me? Good. This one, let me see everybody's answer. Suggest that you are 6 Ghana cities. Wow, that's great. So have you seen it? So therefore, the next one will be bracket 40%. Please, in exams, let's go to the board. In exams, if this one is 60, it was coincident that the other one is 40% too. Good. So 40% of the 15, and now give me 6 cities. So who can tell me the unit now? Now we are done. So therefore, the unit will be, so what will be the unit sold? So if this is the total contribution, and this is the contribution per unit, then therefore, this divided by this give us what? The unit sold, yes. Because if we want to get the total contribution, we have to multiply a certain number of units by the 12 cities in order to get the total contribution. So now if the total contribution is 205,200 and now the contribution per unit is 12 cities, then what will be the total unit? So something must be here so that when we multiply it by 12, we get 205,200. What's that item? Find x. No. So x is equal to, so therefore, you divide. So 17,100. So 205,200 divided by 12 Ghana cedis, 17,100. Good. So this one is units. Unit sold. How we get it? Then the next one will be what? 68,400. Friends online, any answer for me? Divided by what? 6. So that will give us 11,400. So what's the total unit? What will be the overall total units? So then in total, let's just put some small total here. 28,500. That's the total unit. So 28,500 units. Good. Now this is not the end of the game. Let's go to the question and see if we've answered the question fully. Required. Determine the unit of each product sold. Each. So we've done that. 17,100 and 11,400. So the first part you've answered it. And hence prepare what? Profit statement. Yeah, this profit statement, in fact, without the unit, you can still do something. And then the examiner will mark it for you. Now, this profit statement, what are they looking for? This is the second time. This is the second time we're looking at what? Profit statement. We're going to meet it again. So, anywhere they ask you for profit statement, don't worry. Check the cost technique that you are using. Here you are using marginal. So can I dash the board and then do the profit statement quickly? Because I'll solve question A fully. B, you will do it. Because now that we've opened the questions or we've read so that we can scan through many of them. Okay. So that is it. Great. Good. So before we prepare the operating statement, let's look for some 3 key issues. We know them already. Operating statement. We should look for the selling price, we know. Variable cost, we don't know. Contribution, we know contribution. If the sales is 20 Ghana and the contribution is 12 cedis, what's the variable cost? 8 cedis, right? Perfect. If the contribution, sorry, the selling price is 6 cedis, selling price is 15 cedis, but contribution is 6. What's the variable cost? 9. Agree. Good. So those issues, they are fundamental. And fixed cost. If you know this, you are done with the operating statement. 4 items. Selling price, variable cost, contribution, fixed cost. That's all, we are done. So under marginal costing, to prepare operating statement, these 4 items must be there. If they are not there, you can't. So let's just put them together and then we are done. So I'll take this section off. But the answer to that question is in the question. So even if you cannot do it, you can prepare smart way. But yeah, you can put total here. Let's see if the operating statement only for both. 5 for the operating statement. Okay, for the period, so not for each unit. So for the operating statement, we have to sum everything together. So just one operating statement. So operating statement. But they say profit statement, so let me call it profit statement. Good. Profit statement. So let's see. First, we need the sales. So sales, everything 222222 sales. So let's start by saying G. Excellent. What will be the sales revenue? The unit is what? 17,100 times selling price of what? 20 Ghana cedis. So what will be the sales? So 17,100 times 20. So 342,000. So that's the sales. 342,000. Then that of but seems like you change the name of the name is G and what? It's H and G. Trouble. So H and what? G. Good. So here is what? Yes. So they sold 11,400 times selling price of what? 15 Ghana cedis. So let's pick the calculator. 11,400 times 15. So 171,000. So 171,000. Great. This will be the sales revenue. But if like we can shift it here straightforward. 342,000. 171,000. Great. So what's the total sales revenue for the organization? Plus 342,123. That'll give us 513,000. 513,000. Good. Then now we know the sales. Less variable cost. So less what? The variable cost. So the variable cost do the same thing. So first, G, but let's start with H. 17,100 times what? A variable cost of, we had 8 cedis because selling price was 20, contribution was 12. So variable cost will be what? 8 cedis. So therefore, we'll get something like, so 17120 times 8 cedis. That's 136,800. So 136,800. So let's do that for G. That one to 11,400 by what? 9 Ghana cedis. That's the variable cost. So 11,400 times 9 Ghana cedis. 102,600. 102,600. And that's the total for the variable cost. So plus 136,800 239,400. So let's shoot it here. 239,400. Take it off, then we get the contribution. So therefore, total contribution will be, yes, contribution will be 513,123 less the answer, and that will give us 270,600. So 273,600. That is another. Finally, how do you get a profit? Less what? The fixed costs. Fixed costs. The fixed cost will be 180,000. Take it off. So finally, the answer will be less 180, 123, 93,600. So 93,600. This answer is nothing by, it's in the question already. The profit. Yes. This answer is in the question. It's nothing by, let's go to the question. Let's go and pick the profit that is reported. Sum the two together. So 97,200 minus the 3,600 to give you the same answer. So even in exams, if you cannot do the unit, you can trick the examiner. Start from the bottom. How do you trick him? Add these two together, you get the net profit. You don't know the sales, so start from there. Add the two. You know that you add the fixed cost to it, right? Bring the fixed cost. You know that if you add these two together, it must give you the contribution. Bring it. Then know the contribution. Then you pause for it. Even if you do this, at least 3 ticks will be for you. So that is it. I'm done with this question. The B part is still outstanding. Try the B part. The B is not difficult. It's saying that they want to make some adjustments. So now they are going to adjust some items. So first adjustment, increase the price of gasoline by what? 25%, in expectation that quantity demand will reduce by what? 10%. Now in each of them, if you pick each of them, advise management of Zuma Limited as to which proposal to implement in a view of optimizing what? Profit. So each one calculate the profit. So each of the proposal, what do? You calculate the profit. So if they are going to increase the price, that's the selling price, by 25, and then the unit produced by what? 10%. So you go to the board. When they increase this guy alone, the selling price 20, they increase it by what? 25%, which will be 5 cedis. So now they will sell it at what? 25 cedis. And then they are going to increase the unit over here by also 10%. What will be the new profit? Then you solve it to give you a new profit here. Good. Then you relax for a while, then you come back again. Come and take the next assumption. Assumption number 2. That's the bit troublesome. Read through the production process, which will result in a reduction of joint fixed cost by 15%. So the fixed cost must go down by what? 15%. And increase in the variable cost of each product by what? 10%. So increase the variable cost of each unit and calculate the new profit again. You are done. Now the third one says combination of the two coming together. Then you are done. Please, that one I want to see everybody's solution, because now all words you need to solve it. You've done it. Okay, good. So that is it. Exactly. Increment once the other factors will remain the same. So the first, you are going to only reduce this guy by 10% and increase this one by 25, whilst the other factors remain the same. All the other factors remains what? The same. Calculate the new profit. You are done. And then B2, the same thing. Just that the eye, the same thing. Just that the third eye, combination of the two coming together. And it's going for 8 marks. Good. I'm done. I'll look at the second or third exam pass question. It's recent. That's November 2019. November 2019. So now look at the game. Look at the trend. November 2015, we've solved that question. What we are doing now is November 2017, 2 years later. Good. And then exactly 2 years later, that's November 2019. That's what you're going to do. So that means 2 years, right? It's true. Yes. Kindly take notes. The first percentage was Graceland, so it was this. This must reduce by 10%, and then this one must increase by 25, while other factors remain the same. It's not this guy. So that is it. And then the second one too, they introduce changes in what? In the higher length, in that order. Then you are done. Okay, now let's look at the November 2018 question. I feel strongly that this trend should change. November 2017. Let's look at the question over there. No, November 2019. What we've done is the November 2017. Good. Great. Now let's look at the November 2019. I think before that, after that one, we look at the May. Okay, so they are changing the trend. Okay, then I have a good news here. Graphics Communication Group Limited is an amazing publishing company. Okay, let's continue. It comprise a number of different divisions. Each publishing magazines in a different sector. So each of them publishes what? Magazines in a different sector, probably of the country or the economy. Graphic Communication Group Limited is now considering publishing financial magazine. The financial magazine market is very competitive, with a number of well-established titles already being published by the company's competitors. Financial magazine is a monthly magazine. Wow. Graphic Communication Group Limited has therefore commissioned an advertising campaign to launch its financial magazine. The price of the financial magazine has been set at full cost plus a markup of what? 20%. Let me pause here. Before we started management accounting, we walked through the costs, marginal cost and absorption cost. And then we look at the full cost. Then we look at how to calculate what? Full cost. So we went through the cost classification. So the full cost here means they are using what? In termination of the selling price, they use the marginal cost. Good. So they use the absorption. Full cost, absorption, the fixed production overhead must be added to the total cost. So that's the absorption cost in play. Good. Plus 20%. So if you want to determine the selling price, get a full cost, add everything together. When you are done, strike 20%, add it back to get a selling price. Then you are done. Now forecast variable cost per copy of the financial magazine is as follows. Paper 0.383 Ghana cedis. That's per unit, per copy. Or you can say per book, right? So a copy of the book, good, or the magazine. Ink, see note 1. So you are going to read note 1. So don't worry at all. Note 1. We structure ourselves. Machine cost 0.22 Ghana cedis per copy. Other variable costs 15 pesos per copy. The order. Now let's go and fix the ink. They say each financial magazine needs 0.2 liters of ink. However, 10% of ink input to the printing process is wasted. So normal loss. So there's normal loss. So here you have to gross up. You have to what? Gross up. Yes. Normal loss is 10%. So you have to gross up. Good. Ink cost is what? 5.4. So you have to look for the total ink required per copy. The total ink required will not be 0.2 liters. Why? Because there's a normal loss of 10%. So you have to gross up. Now, let me explain this, or let me chip in this. Let's assume that you want to cook rice, and then your saucepan is big, and normally your saucepan also consumes some of the rice. How we get it? So to burn. So if you are cooking, let's say 55 cups of rice, ideally 5 cups will burn. You only get 50 cups well cooked. So the question is, let's assume that you want exactly 50 cups of rice to consume. Are you going to cook, or are you going to put 50 cups exactly on the fire, or you put 55? So that at least 5 will go, then at least you get your 50 cups. So it means that if you need 50 cups output, then key the input more than the 50 cups. How we get it? Good. So that's the normal loss. So how do you do the gross up? Now this 50 that you are looking for, it represents net of the loss. Net of the loss. So if you want to gross up, then you are looking for the 100%. Because the 50 is after the saucepan afford consume its portion. So if you're looking for before, then gross up, that's the 100%. So let's use this question as illustration. So if 10% is normal loss, and then we need 0.2 liter or liters of the ink, then it means that this 0.2 is representing 90%. Agreed. That's 90%. Why? Because whatever we consume in, 10% will go waste before the remaining 90% will go into the system, and the system will use it. So now the system is using what? 0.2. So that means 10% has been wasted already. So what do? So tell the examiner that if 90%, which is the net of the loss, so if 90%, which is the net of loss, is equal to 0.2, then therefore 100% we are grossing up. Because if you go to the market, don't go and buy 50 cups of rice. Other than that, you get 45. So buy more than 50, so that at least when some being wasted, you still get what you're looking for, like the margin of safety that we learned. So 100% to be what? Question mark. You are done. Then you solve it. This is one way of doing it. Now let me just give you the shortcut approach. So to get the full version, what are you looking for? Always. But let me do that one here. But I can do all this from your done. Always. If you are looking for something, what are you looking for? I'm looking for 100%. So I'll make it here 100%. Divided by what you have. I have 90. Multiply by the value of what you have. I have 0.2 to give you the 100%. So that's the gross up. What you need about what you have times the value of what you have. That's all. We are done. Great. So therefore, 100 divided by 90, that will give us 1.1111 plenty times 0.2. That will give us 0.222222 plenty. So let's make it 0.22. Good. Agreed. So let's make it 0.22. So therefore, the latest required is 0.22 liters. So what will be the cost per liter? In fact, I am solving the issues there. You will go and then probably work out. So I'm just giving the critical sections. In fact, today's section is called a critical section because all the questions are critical questions. And you see more critical questions than this. Good. So 0.22 liters times the price. It says 5 Ghana cedis, 40 pesos. Let's confirm from the question. So they're saying that ink cost 5 Ghana cedis, 40 pesos. So therefore, if I should end here, what will be the ink cost? So that we can go and then key it in here to get overall variable cost. And we are almost going through. So the ink cost will be it's 1.19. So 0.22 times that's 5.4. You get 1.2. Okay, good. So the cost of ink is what? 1.2. Good. The cost of ink is 1.2. So therefore, so this will go to 1.2. So the ink will be 1.2. Okay. So that is it. Now let me start all over again. The issue has to do with this. Right. They've calculated all the costs and then they've left the ink for us to do the calculation. So let's start. They say each of the book or the magazine needs 0.2 liters of ink. Just that 10% of the ink input or key in to the printing process is what? Wasted. So that means if I need 2, but before I can get the 2, something must gone. So that means I have to key in more than 2 so that if they take some part of, you get a 2. Let's take this in farming. The cocoa farmers, sometimes they are annoyed with the buyers. They scale. You know that they will deduct some for the sack. They will deduct some for the sack, right? Yes, because if they scale it and then it's like, let's say 68, definitely 2 or a percentage of this 68 will be wasted. Why? Because of the sack. So they have to now put more cocoa to cover up. So that's why they deduct it from where? The value. So the same thing, like you want to cook rice. Whatever you key it in, the saucepan will consume 1 cup. And now you want the people that are coming for the program, they will consume just 20 cups of rice. And you know your saucepan that if you key in 20 cups of rice, 1 cup will be wasted. Yes, it will burn. Very, very, very dark one that you cannot eat. Good. So what do? Are you going to buy exactly 20 cups of rice or you buy 21? That's the question. You buy 21. So that at least if you key in the 21,
The one, in fact, don't even buy 21. Buy 22, okay? Don't know what to happen. Maybe the fare will be too much. So even buy more than 21 going. So that at least after the loss of one, you still have what you're looking for. That is the agenda. Good. That is the agenda. Okay, great. Now, after getting this, then you gross it up. How do you do this? We have gross it up. How do you do your gross up? Just relax. They should tell us the normal loss. That's all. The loss is 10%. So it means that this 0.2 or these 20 caps that we want is after a certain loss. So it's representing what? 90%. So it's equal to 90%. It's after what? A certain loss. That is it. If I understand that, I'm okay. Then what am I looking for? I am looking for 100%, the grossing up, the full amount where there's no loss. So I'm looking for 100%. What do I have? I have the 90. So times what? The value of what? 0.2. Then I'll get to what? 0.22 liters. Then I will lapse. I'll go to the question. The question is saying that in cost is what? 5.4 Ghana cedis per liter. So therefore, if I need 0.22 after grossing up and a liter is 5.4, then what will be the total cost for that for a book? So this 0.22 times what? 5.4. That'll give us 1.2. So now let's go back and add it to the other variable cost. So therefore, the total variable cost will be, so here we have to key in 1.2 here. So we have to put 1.2 here, then we add all together, then we get what? The total variable cost. Good. So that is it. Great. We are not done. Left with the fixed cost, then we are done with the total full cost. So I'm just explaining the key issues and you try this question. Please try them. I will pick it up. I'll solve this if everyone solve it. Good. So that is it. Now let's move on. Note 2. In month one, graphic, say graphics, so Graphics Communication Group Limited expect to sell 50 copies of the magazine to new customers at this price. So that means in the month one, the first month, the sales will be 50,000. Now let's go and read the question before we the required says the comment says that discuss two advantages and two disadvantages of managing directors' pricing strategy in the circumstances described above. So here they are just asking for the importance or the good news, merit and demerit of what? Full cost approach. This is a pricing strategy, full cost. We have the cost plus, marginal cost plus, and then the full cost plus. So look at that under pricing. B, produce a statement that shows the total profit for the first 3 months of financial magazine. Yes. So have you seen? Produce what? A total profit, a statement that shows the total profit for the first 3 months. So that we need the sales, the variable cost, fixed cost for all the 3 months, and then we are done. That's the end. We need what? Sales, variable cost, fixed cost, and what? Profit. Then we are done. Then C. I like the C more than any of them. C is saying what? Calculate the number of copies of the financial magazine that need to be sold to achieve a profit of what? 100,000. So is that break even, right? Break even at what? Target profits. That's all for 6 marks. So even if you cannot do the B, that's some part of what? The C to earn your full 6 marks. Good. So that is it. So you're going to do the A, B, and C again for me. I will just explain all the issues. So this is how we will start. I will start explain the issues, follow up, and look for the solution. So I'll start explaining the issue one after the other so that we try, then we solve it together. Good. Okay, so now let's continue the game. We are the note 2. They say that the company expects to sell 50,000 copies of the magazine to the new customers at this month. So let's try. So month 1, the sales should be what? 50,000. That's the sales. So the month 1, the sales is 50,000. Now let's go to note 3. After their first month sales, the company expects 90% of the first month customers to purchase the magazine in what? 2 months. So here we have like existing customers and new customers. Existing customers. So let's see. So therefore, month 1, we have existing customers. Then we go to new customers. Then we go to total. We are done. So month 1, 50,000 sales. Month 2, then month 3. That's the end of the game. So 3 months. If you get a sales unit, you just go and multiply by the selling price. You are done. So 90% of the first month. So 90% of the first month will be 90% of the first month. That will give us, so 90% of 50,000. That's 45, right? So the existing people will be existing 45. Are we expecting any new people coming by? So the existing people will come back. But this question is something that we have to understand in details. Like this, it's a monthly magazine. So it's something that you have to come and buy every month. So 2 people will come and then will come to our shop, 2 different groups. All these, you have to analyze this within the examination time. That monthly magazine, 2 people walk to the shop at the same time. Existing customers and new customers. So out of the 50,000 existing customers, the next month, 90% will still come and buy the product. How we get it? Then left with the new customers. So those people that they walk in fresh, how do we get their value? They have to also tell us. Good. We will go through most of this, just that it needs some time. So if you try them before we're going through, to be a bit faster. So let's see. Now let's continue the reading. After the second month of purchase, the company expects to retain 85% of month 2 customers in the subsequent month. Wow. So 85% of month 2. So 85, month 2 is what? 45. I like that. Good. So month 2 is 45. So you take 85% in order to get what? The existing. How we get it? So 0.85 times 45, 103. That's 38,250. 38,250. If there's nothing in the question again, we are done with the units. But let's see if there are new customers coming. Have you seen again? Yes. This is a November question. You're writing in November. So there's a what? Link. So that's how your question to look like. I can assure you that it will not be straightforward. They will add a lot of stories to move you around. Good. Now note 4. As the magazine circulation area increases, sales to additional new customers. I like this term. Now, look how they stated it. Note 4. As the magazine circulation area increases, sales to additional new customers, but they've said additional new customers, to additional customers, new customers. In month 2 will be what? 20% of month 1 sales figure. What's the month 1 sales figure? Good. Month 1 is pegged at 50,000. Great. So if the new customers walk-in customers should be 10% of this value. So it will be what? 10% of this value. So 10% of this 10% or 20%. But I can see 20% there. It's 20%. Good. So that will be 20% times what? 50,000. And that will give us. So here will be dashed and put a 10,000 where? Here. Hope you are getting it. Hope it's not difficult, right? Good. So existing customers. Yes. When we are doing together, it looks so easy, right? But when left individually, yes, that's what you see. It's happening everywhere. When something happens and friends colleague comes around, oh, don't worry, we'll be with you. We'll be with you. Let the evening come. Sorry, I'm going home. Oh. Then I left you alone in the house. That's what it's done. It's not easy. All what they're saying, they're leaving you alone in the situation. So that's how it is. Don't worry. Everything will be fine. Now let's continue the game. So in exams, you take your time, you relax, read it sentence by sentence, word by word, and then you do justice to it. Good. Now let's continue the game. Then 90% of this will be retained in what? In month 3. 90% of this will be retained when? Of what? Of 10,000 will be retained in month 3. So 90% of this. So if you flow with the examiner, the solution to flow with you. So 90% of this will be in month what? 3. So 90% of 10,000 is what? 9,000. Month 3. Then you relax. Now let's continue reading. Then we settle. Says sales to additional new customers in the month 3 will be 30% of month 1 sales figure. Hey, another trouble again.
Instead of 9,000.
30% of what? Sure. 30% of month 1 sales. So what's month 1 sales? 50,000. So 30% of 50,000. So here, new, additional. Additional new. So to be 15, that's 30% times 50,000. And that will give us 15,000. In fact, we are done. This is a sales unit. If you get this one correct, the rest of the question, everything will be correct for you. This was the troublesome section. So let's add all 50,000. Let's add all together. 55,000. Let's add all this. What do you get? Sorry, it's like this is coming soon. This is what you get: 38, 250, 9,000, 15,000. So 62,250. So that's the sales units. Please, I am giving you the key points. Those points that when you get them correct, the rest are okay. So now let's continue the notes. So now we know the sales units. Good. Please, your question that you're going to write in the exams, it will also come with a different section. But the truth of the matter is that if you go through this, go to another section, go to the third one, and solve like 5 times. 5 different questions. At least these ideas will come together to help you solve the one that you don't know in exams. Good. If they are going to see the same thing in exams, they know, then no. So that is it. Good. Then the note 6 states that fixed overhead costs are apportioned by the company to the financial magazine based on the first month sales volume. By what? First month sales volume. The budgeted annual fixed overhead is 18 million and total budgeted annual magazine sales, including the financial magazine. So it means that they have a different magazine. It's what? 12 million copies. Please don't take your calculator to divide 12 million by 12. You get 1 million. But the books is 50,000. So where's the remaining copies? No. They say including the financial magazine. They have other magazines. So not only financial magazine that the company is publishing. Good. So therefore, what will be the OAR? Overhead absorption rate will be what? Or the fixed cost. So let's calculate overhead absorption rates. Good. So therefore, the overhead absorption rate, OAR, is the same as the fixed cost. The fixed production overhead cost, which is equal to 18 million. Okay, so total budgeted overhead, the more right, the more remember, all divided by the activity level, budgeted activity level. So 18 million against 12 million, and that's equal to 1.5 Ghana cedis. Thank you. That's great. So that is it. Good. I am not solving this question in full. I'm giving you what you need to solve it. So definitely you will solve it and bring it. And for those who do it, they will smile. Good. Now let's move on. Now we know the fixed cost. Now when we add all, we can get the total cost. So let's calculate the total cost. So in the question, we have something like the variable costs are there. So 0.83 for that of paper. Ink, we had 1.2. So plus machine 0.22 plus other variable cost 1.5, 0.15 plus the fixed cost of what? 1.5. Put all together.
1.5.
The fixed cost we had 1.5.
And the income will be put to 1.2.
So I think let me do that one here. So calculation of the selling price. Let's calculate the selling price. This section you need it because that's what I'm going to use to calculate the operating statement, the profit statement. If you want to get the unit 50, 55, 62, 250. And then that is the game. Great. Now let's see. How we determine the selling price? First, so calculation of the selling price. So I am solving the technical issues. The rest is like presentation. No. Selling price. Calculation of the selling price. Let's start. You are calculating the variable cost. So total variable cost will be, let's start, paper. You say the paper cost is 0.83. Ink, from the previous calculation, so if I should do everything together, we have 1.2. It's nothing but 100 divided by 90 times Ghana city of 5.4 to give you the same answer. That's 1.2. Yes. Ink, cost of ink is 1.2. Then from there, they stated something again. Let's go to the question and take it. 0.22 machine, 0.22, and then the other variable cost. So machine, yes, 0.22, then other variable cost down to 0.15. So let's add or get the total variable cost. We need it for a particular reason. Total variable cost is 0.83 plus 1.2 plus 0.22 plus 1.5. Hey, sorry, 1.5. So I have 2.4. That's the total variable cost. So total variable cost per unit. Then what about the fixed cost? Fixed production cost. Fixed production cost. That one we had 18 million divided by 12 million. So 18 million divided by 12 million units. So we had 1.5. So therefore, total cost will be, that's 3.9. But let's go to the question. This is the total cost. So we can call it what? Full cost. Total cost. Full cost. This is what we did at the inception of the class. That no topic in the management accounting will still ask you to do margin and absorption. But indirectly, one of the questions we will ask you. So if you not gone through that section, please kindly request for that video and then go through. Good, and then you'll be fine. Now they are saying that the price of the financial magazine has been set at full cost plus markup. Markup is on cost. Markup of 20%. So that means we have to find 20% of this and then top it up to get a selling price. So therefore, profit will be, so their profit is 20% of the 3.9. Then you add back. So 20%, 0.2 times 3.9, that is 0.78. So 0.78. So putting everything together, selling price will be, plus 3.9. That will give us 4.68. So therefore, the selling price is what? 4.68. In short, once you get the total cost to be 3.9, don't even worry yourself. Go through this question. You get the selling price, multiply by 1.2. Why? 20% is what? The profit. So you add back, you get this answer. Good. So therefore, so it's equal to 4.68. So I'm done. Now what left? There's one item that I will not do. That calculation I will not do. But you have to do it. Fixed cost. You determine the fixed cost per month one or fixed cost for the financial magazine. If you can find that fixed cost for me, I'm fine. So the last aspect is The sales price of the financial magazine will remain unchanged throughout the first 3 months. Okay, that's good. So we are done. That's the end. So now I need the A, B, and C fully solved, arranged well, especially the C because you are doing break even or CVP. That's it. Calculate the number of copies of the financial magazine that need to be sold to achieve a profit of 100,000. So the break even at target profits, what do? You have to add this 100,000 to the fixed cost. So here I'll not calculate the fixed cost for you. You have to tell me the fixed cost. So yes. So when you're solving, get a fixed cost in addition. If I get everything for you, it might not be nice. So yes. So that is it. So I'm done with this question. Wait. Now, as usual, I'll scan through some of the exam past questions and then we take screenshots of them and you try them. So on your own. I'll pick some of them and do justice to it. I'll pick some of them and do justice to it. So that is it. But before that, if you do have any question, kindly ask. So that is it. So now all what you need, you'll be able to what? Calculate it, except the fixed cost. That you have to calculate it for me. Contribution. Now we know the selling price will be 4.68. What's the contribution? Contribution be sales minus what? The variable cost of 2.4. You are done. So after you get a fixed cost, you add 100,000 to it, divided by what? Divided by the contribution. You are done. The max is 6. Selling price is 4.68. Then, good. Then, in fact, look at the max. It's 6 max. 6 max. It will include you getting all this. That 6 max include this calculation of the selling price and then the contribution, all of them, plus the final answer. So kindly try for me and you'll be fine. So I'll scan through some of the questions in the revision kits and then you'll be fine. So what level is the fixed cost? That's the item that you have to look out for. Good. Now let's go to the past question again. Now there's a question here to May 2019 that I like that question. May 2019, is this May 2019? I'm not sure this is May 2019. Okay. Yeah, this is May 2019. So this one too is part of the game. This was the one that we saw before we went there. Bosiakon Limited manufactures high quality coffee biscuits that are sold to hotels and restaurants in Kofodia. No, I'll do that. Good. Okay. In Kofodia, 2 months ago, it had prepared a budget for the forthcoming financial year. Details of the budget is presented as follows. Sales, everything is there. Less direct material cost. This good. I'll send some questions. Yes, very strong questions. Good. I think I'll do that. Direct material costs, they are there. Variable overheads, they are all there. Fixed overheads, in fact, is there. Total cost. The examiner is good though. That's going to add up all of them for you. Profit is also there. Now, there's a note. None of the question appears without note too. So here there's a note. Okay. I'll take a shot of it and then forward or compile it. Then you'll be fine. The budget above has been prepared on assumption that sales will be
800,000 packets of biscuits. However, due to changing economic condition, the sales forecast for the year is now 720 packets of biscuits. Okay, this reminder, there are some question here. Let's go to the requirement. Okay, so calculate the expected profit for the current year. That's the forecast sales, 2 marks. Based on the forecast activity for the year, calculate the following. Break-even point in packet of biscuit, that's a unit. Margin of safety in percentage terms, so that's in terms of what? Percentage, great. The sales revenue required to earn a profit of what? 144. So that means that target profit is almost like it. This is the second time of asking what? Target profit, right? Good. Then let's go back. It's expected that selling price per unit, direct cost per unit, and variable overhead cost per unit will not change from those budgeted. Good. So these are the assumptions of break-even or CVP. We said that at the inception of the class. We said that the unit costs, that's the variable costs, and then the selling price, all of them do not change over the level of activity. So that's what they're telling us. It is also expected that the fixed overhead will remain the same assumption. Management is now considering a number of options to improve profitability for forthcoming financial year. So option 1, option 2, option 3. So let's look at the options. Decrease the selling price by 20%. It is anticipated that this will increase the sales volume by what? 25% on the forecast sales for the year, for current year. This is not different from what we saw in November 2017. For November 2017, they give us 3 options. First one, they changed something. That was the Grassland and Highland. The same show here. Decrease all variable costs by 10%. Decrease fixed costs also by 10%. And then, but these are the assumptions. So take note of that. Now, these options will not affect the A and B. It will affect what? The C. Because they're saying C, evaluate the profitability of the 3 options and recommend the option that Bosiaco Limited should adopt. So please go through this one. So I'm adding. So now your questions are 2. This one and the one that we did together. Yes, halfway, half stuff. So try out them and then you'll be fine. Then let me, in fact, I promise that I will walk you through. There was one question too on fowl. I think it's a guinea fowl. The question was on guinea fowl. Yes. The company was a poultry company. So they asked how many birds. They sell 2 types of birds, either guinea fowl or the local fowl or the normal fowl. So they ask you how many birds should they sell to in order to break even, something like that. Now I have a nice question. So let me project that one too, and then we scan through. Then we are done for the day. That question, but I'm good. So these the questions. Question 1 is agrobeso. So kindly when you get it, take time and then go through agrobeso for me. These ones are not too difficult. They are a bit straightforward. No issues. So yes, try them for me. Then I am done limited. This one is I am done limited. Try that one also when you get the questions. If you don't have the question, kindly request for it. It will be rich for you. Then the question on the show is the Brahabeda Hotel. Brahabeda Hotels. This question, in fact, Braha
Better hotels. Good. It's a company. They are there. In fact, look at the style. Look at the style. The style for these questions, the style for this question is what you see in the one that we just saw. Look at this. This is the budget. They added all the costs, get the total, push it here. Just like they had a loss. Now let's go to the past question too. Now in the past question, look at it very well. Here too, the sales was there. They listed all the costs together. They get the total cost and get the profits. Good. Before they give this note too was inside. This note is here. This is the occupant rooms, the occupant day and occupant charges that appear here again. So and here to the whole number of what questions under it. Kindly try when I send it to you. The solutions are there, but I will not send it with solution. After you try and I'll forward the solution to you. All of them, they are here. So that is it. Great. So this is how far the good Lord will bring us. If you do have any question, kindly let me have them. If you have any question, kindly let me have them before I close the chapter of today. Good.